Okay, next step. After we know how to simplify radicals, now we need to know how to do operations with radicals. So we need to know how to add them together, subtract them, what's the rules, and basically the rules are we treat them just like combining like terms with variables. You can only add or subtract radicals if they have the same radicand. And remember, radicand is just the fancy word for the number that's underneath the radical symbol. So if those are the same, then we can combine them. If they're not the same, what we want to do is we want to see, can we break them apart using our simplifying radical skills? Can we break them apart to then see if we have the same radicand? And if we do, then we can combine them at that step. Let's take a look. First problem, radical 2 plus radical 2. They have the same radicand. We can add them. This is really saying 1 radical 2 plus 1 radical 2. There's really ones in front, just like as if they were variables like x's. It really would be 1x plus 1x. So 1 radical 2 plus 1 radical 2 is 2 radical 2. There's 2 of them. 4 radical 3 plus 1 radical 3 is 5 radical 3. Notice I didn't do anything with the number under the radical. The 3's stayed. I'm really just doing the operations with the numbers in front, the coefficients. Next one, 5 radical 6 plus 2 radical 6 is then 7 radical 6. Easy. Next two, radical 2 minus radical 2. Well, 1 radical 2 minus 1 radical 2, 1 minus 1 is 0. I'm not going to write 0 radical 2. I'm just going to write 0. 4 radical 3 minus radical 3 is really saying 4 radical 3 minus 1 radical 3, which would be 3 radical 3. 5 radical 6 minus 2 radical 6, 5 minus 2 is 3, and that would be 3 radical 6. So we should see the comparison between the first row of problems and the second row. Same values, I just switched it from addition to subtraction. Next set, radical 2 times radical 2. Now, when we multiply with radicals, we can put the radicands together and multiply them together. Radical 2 times radical 2 is radical 4. Radical 4 is just 2. Easy. 4 radical 3 times radical 3 would be 4 radical 9, because 3 times 3 is 9. Now we know radical 9. Radical 9 is just 3. So what this is saying is just 4 times 3. And 4 times 3 is 12. Next one. 5 radical 6 times 2 radical 6. Okay, 5 times 2 is 10. Radical 6 times radical 6 is radical 36. Which is really saying to do 10 times, what's the square root of 36? 6. And 10 times 6 is 60. So what you'll notice here is we multiply the numbers out front and we multiply our radicands together. And then we simplify where we can. Now, the next 3 problems look like we can't even do them because they don't have the same radicand. And so it would be like, how would I even go forward? What do I even do? This is where we use our simplifying radical rules. So ready? Radical 72 can get broken down, I hope you remember, into radical 36 times radical 2, because 36 is the biggest perfect square that divides into 72. Plus, look at 50. The biggest perfect square that goes into 50 is 25. So that gets rewritten as radical 25 times radical 2. This then becomes 6 radical 2 plus 5 radical 2. And now what we're learning is 6 radical 2 plus 5 radical 2 is 11 radical 2. Next one, 4 radical 45. So this is 4 times what perfect square goes into 45? Hopefully you said 9, so that would be radical 9, radical 5, minus radical 125. What perfect square goes into 125? Hopefully you said 25, so that would be radical 25 times radical 5. This problem now becomes 4 times the square root of 9 is 3, radical 5, minus the square root of 25 is 5, radical 5. 4 times 3 is 12, so now I have 12 radical 5 minus 5 radical 5, and my final answer is 7 radical 5. 12 minus 5 is 7, radical 5, notice it stays. 5 radical 27. So this is 5 times, biggest perfect square that goes into 27 is 9. So this would be radical 9, radical 3, plus 2 times radical 5. This is now 5 times the square root of 9 is 3, radical 3, plus 2 radical 5. 5 times 3 is 15. So now this is 15 radical 3 plus 2 radical 5. Now, why do you think I left this as my final answer? Why can I not go any further? Hopefully, it's because you notice that the radicands are different. I have a radical 3 and a radical 5. And when the radicands are not like, they're unlike, you cannot combine them. So this is truly what my final answer would look like. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.